Good evening, Warriors! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well this evening. We got some rain going on here in the Midwest. I'm hoping that you guys are continuing your battles, continue conquesting other people and yourself, and making sure that you get everything that you're trying to achieve, my friends, in this great thing we call life. When it comes to being on retention, getting closer to God, and understanding that this is really the way life should be, and being a man is all that matters when it comes to God and your protection in life and protecting those around you as well, and being strong. All right, so 2 minutes, I'm going to start talking about content. Let me give you a couple of shout outs, and then we'll talk about our topic. Villem, shout out to you, my friend. OGs, I think it's called Ojas. We're going to talk about those a little bit. Another one, Savage L, thank you. Odinga Mubutu, thank you. Open Source, nolanmartino, I appreciate that. The Chosen One, nolanmartino again, thank you, my friend. Jon the Dawn, thank you. And Gregory Bolivar, once again, some great comments, as well as Alex McCann. So those guys, I appreciate those guys. Keep going, and we'll do some more tomorrow. Now, the topic today, and I'll give a couple of shout outs before we do this. We're going to talk about the great benefits of semen retention. A lot of you guys are asking about specific things, so I kind of include those today in this one. And so as I talk about this, we're going to talk about things like odor. Lion asked me about that. Nervousness speaking language under SR. We'll talk about that one a little bit. And that was Alan who did that one. Eye contact, Nathaniel. Nathaniel sent one in on that one. Thank you, Nathaniel. And then communication SR by tunnel vision. We'll talk about that one a little bit as well, and kind of hit some of these other ones as we go along as well. I think dirtymink had one as well, as he talked about, and values of SR. All right, so let's talk about this. Okay, so as we know, we've talked about this a long time, and we know, my friends, that, and fellow warriors, we know that having a great energy source is important in life. And we know that the key to all this thing is being able to keep all your energy. We've had a lot of false, false information talking about how we need to release. I think someone today talked about the fact that people tell them all the time that on Google it says you have to release 21 days per month. What a ridiculous thing. This kind of shows you guys that people have different agendas, and that we've been kind of fooled all this time, right? Because in lots of other religions, especially in Brahmacharya and Taoism, Sufism, and obviously in celibacy, in retention, people are not doing this 21 times even a month. They're trying to hold off on releasing as much as possible until you get to the point where you really want to have children, because you're trying to cultivate that. Now, of course, you could have dangerous situations if you're not doing the right things with it. But of course, if you're doing the right things, you're living the right kind of lifestyle, that's important. So we talk about some of these things. It's important to realize your life is, in my opinion, this is my opinion only, at least 10 times better if you're on retention. Now, once again, people may say this is not true, all that kind of stuff, but all I know is over the last 3 years, or 1,000, whatever it is, 15 days, 20 days now I'm getting close to, I have seen unbelievable benefits. So let's focus on some of these benefits that we're talking about here, and what do we have. So let's talk about this first. Now, I'll talk about the first one that we had that was asked about, I think was odor by Lion. So what type of odor will you have? Well, I believe, and this is just my opinion again, and my experiences have shown that as you put things in your body, you're going to have a certain sort of, odor types of things you want to call it that comes out of your body. And if you put nasty foods in your body, I found that, I didn't smell too good. And that's just the bottom line. But when you're on this streak that I'm on, I don't have that same kind of problem. Now, I have no idea if it's a connection or not with odor, but I will tell you this, right? The attraction level that people have towards you, and if you're not smelling good, they're not going to be around you. So they must sense something, they may see something, and there's got to be something to deal with odor. And so I would say, even though I don't have any documentation on this, I would say there probably is a positive relationship between having strong, good odor and poor odor. Now, once again, we're in a society of fakeness, my friends. Warriors do not get fooled by the fakeness. People putting perfume on, men putting cologne on, trying to smell different than their natural being. Just think about that. We go through life trying to cover up our natural scent. That is a little bit crazy. Warriors do not cover up, in my opinion, you should not be covering up your natural scent. Now, does that really mean that you can't once in a while perfume and cologne on? Sure. But the bottom line is, don't be discouraged or don't be embarrassed with your natural scent. That's kind of the bottom line. All right, so thank you, Eyeline, good comment. Okay, nervousness. Now, I've taught communication for many, many years, and obviously I struggled when I was younger, too shy. That's why I got into the communication field and taught public speaking and all this kind of stuff at many places. And I believe as I'm on this streak, the confidence level I have is almost increased by 10 times the amount. And so when you talk about nervousness, speaking, language, when you have retention, this is the question by Alan, you're basically being natural. There is no mask in front of you, whether it's pandemic or not. There's no mask. You are who you are. No illusion. You're confident with who you are, and as a warrior, you're able to communicate that because you have that inner drive and focus. The anxiety level leaves you, and all of a sudden now, other people, what they say to you, you don't care two craps about it. Now, I'm 61, so obviously as you get older, you care less what people think. But even so, the semen retention journey has made it even stronger for me not to really care and take to heart what people say if they don't agree with what I'm saying. And if they don't like what I'm saying, I mean, they have the prerogative, just like any kind of person who's a friend of mine or who's related to me or someone that I'm with. They like to be with me, great. If they don't, then they can go somewhere else. It doesn't bother me anymore, either way. But the bottom line is I think that big effect has been because of retention. So yes, I think you're going to be less nervous, less anxious. I think your speaking is going to be a lot more solid, focus, clarity. You're going to have more, be able to be more on top of things, thinking about language more, using the right words when you're communicating, taking your time, not being too fast. All those things can happen, I believe, under retention. So I think, Alan, there is a direct connection there for sure. I think I'm stronger on that one than I am with the older one, but I also believe that people can get affected by odor if obviously they're keeping their nutrients and they're keeping things within them and they're not, kind of losing everything out that way. I think there is an effect of both of those. So Alan, thank you for your comments. Let me see what's the next one. Oh, eye contact. Of course, just like any kind of nonverbal communication, I think your eye contact becomes stronger. And what happens, and part of this is the issue as well. When you look at people, now let's talk about women and men separately here. So we're talking about men. When a man is under retention and has this aura, and women sense this, all they got to do is look at your eyes. And women are very good at looking at your eyes. Because of the nature of the world and life, they're not bigger than men, and so they have to protect themselves. And so they look at a man's eyes to really kind of determine what they see. They used to call this the window of the soul. So as they're looking at your eyes, they're determining what type of person you are. This is why women will start giggling and laughing or playing with the hair, because they see in your eyes that you are a man you're a masculine man, a man who is on a purpose, retention, and you are an old-fashioned strong man. And it's hard to find those. And so they get attracted to that, and they get really excited seeing you. Now, they won't always say that, but that's how they're acting. When they look at you, they see that. So you're going to have direct eye contact with women all the time because you're confident. You're not afraid of women. And this is a big difference when it comes to retention. I had those issues a long time ago. Shyness, afraid of talking to girls, and those type of things. And that kind of went away when I had confidence. And when I tried doing the Fountain of Youth stuff, I got better with it. And certainly this is just unbelievable now, the amount of attention and traction that I get with people that are 30, 40 years younger than I am. And it's only because you're exuding a certain confidence level that 99% of the people, guys around you, don't have. And so they notice it. And women flock to that because they love that. They love the attention. They love somebody looking deep in their eyes and basically trying to say, you know, I'm a man. And that's important. I'm a dominant male. And that's important. And women like that. They need to have that security to know that you're a dominant male. And I don't care what people are saying. I don't care all this political nonsense that we talk about. You need to be a masculine, dominant male. And that's what women look for. So that's important. So thank you, Nathaniel, for that comment on that one. What else do I got? Communication and SR, tunnel vision. Yes, of course. I think I can always recommend books about this as well. But there's not a lot of books that I can find with communication and SR. Communication books by themselves, yes. But the idea, again, is your communication level starts with what I call intrapersonal communication. That's within. You're communicating within your attitude. And your attitude is such that you know that you're a confident male on retention. You know that you have things going in your direction. You care about only achieving goals. You care about God's purpose. You care about moving towards what your God is doing and wanting you to do. And you're not worried about all these other things. And as a result of that, you're relaxed, and women know you're not pushing on them, and they're going to come chasing you because they see that. Now, whether you want that or not, once again, it's a two-edged sword, because the other end of this is that you really don't want to be losing energy with women. And we talked about this a little bit, and I'll probably go back to it. But remember, the reason we talk about this is because this is a really dangerous problem for a lot of people. You know, they're releasing all the time. Now, of course, you know, in the ideal monk world we're talking about, you wouldn't be thinking about sex, you wouldn't be thinking of edging, any of that kind of stuff. You wouldn't be doing any of that. So, like anything else, we're all in different situations. It took me 47 years to build up to this point. So I understand people say to me, well, you know, can we do it in steps and stages? Of course. Well, if that's the way you're going to get there, that's the way you're going to get there. Some people can go cold turkey, that's great. But some people have to take steps little by little. 10 days, 11 days, next time 12 days, those type of things. But you got to keep your eye on the ball of where you're going, where you're going to hit it. And you want to make sure you get a grand slam here and knock this thing out of the ballpark and one day say, I'm not controlled by this. I'm controlling this situation. I'm controlling my nutrients inside myself. So thank you, Tunnel Vision. I think the communication is wonderful. You can communicate very effectively under SR. Once again, looking people straight in the eye, having a solid handshake, being able to even give hugs if people need hugs. Those things indicate how strong you are, and people feed off of that. So that's really important. What else was I going to comment here? There's a couple other ones that I want to comment before I take my leave here. Let's look and see. There was one, full moon and SR. I think in Dirty Mink, I think I might leave this one a little bit more to a special one. However, I will say this. I think you are more in tune with things around you when you're in retention. That means you're getting closer to God, and God encompasses everything around us. So when we talk about, you know, I sense more about the things around me, like the trees. I sense more of the water, a flowing river, the sun, the moon. I see those things. So when you talk about a full moon, I think you probably meant it more in a phase of, can you be affected by a full moon? I don't know so much as about that, but I will tell you one thing, that I notice these things. I look at the beauty of the full moon. That's a beauty that I did not see before I went on retention. And so you really kind of start merging and flowing with the society and the nature that you're with. And God is part of that nature as far as I'm concerned. And so I think there's a big connection between, you know, seeing nature and SR, and that's important. So values in SR, Obama, Medicare, and get better, my friend. Keep going, my friend. Don't ever give up. Thank you for your comment. That again there is a no doubt on that one as well. Certainly when it comes to values, let's put it this way. I just had a friend of mine, and even my son, started taking cold showers. And it's amazing the reaction they're having. Now, once again, they're going from a hot shower to cold little by little, and that's wonderful. I go right in cold turkey, but once again, it's taken me a long time to do that. But I'm finally at the point where I'm actually just going straight in. But the thing is, we all kind of build things as we go along. It starts with retention, but really what the issue is self-control. And as you learn self-control, you start building habits. You start building habits saying, okay, I have self-control. I'm going to take cold showers. I'm going to start eating better foods, not as much sugar and carbohydrates for me, for instance. I'm going to start exercising more, start walking more, start doing those things because now I have a lot more energy because I'm saving a lot of my energy. Now, what comes with that? Obviously, keeping track, keeping care of yourself. All those things go back to having a strong value system. You are not going to have an immoral system, in my opinion, if you're sitting there thinking about moving towards God with retention, having a strong faith-based type of attitude, feeling towards your God, doing those things and taking care of yourself. You're not going to throw that away by addictions to sex or gambling or overeating, things like that. You're going to try to use self-discipline in every area. I remember reading the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin, and one of the things I always remember was there was a period of time that Benjamin Franklin was hated by a lot of people. He had so many faults that he couldn't list them. He finally decided saying, I'm going to change myself. And he put the list together he put 10 faults down. And every day he would check those to see how much better he got. And eventually he was able to eliminate a lot of his faults, or at least reduce them to the point where he became the very beloved person in our world. And that only happened because he took stock of himself and say, I have to go ahead and change these things. Whether it was cursing, whether it was just lying to people, whether it was not treating people well, whether it's not doing this, whatever it might be. Take inventory, and so your values are definitely going to change once you're able to see, okay, retention means self-control, discipline. Along with that comes a lot of strong values because it goes side by side. And this is what we talk about, a human being that has excellence. They start having excellence from within, values, attitudes, faith, those type of things. And the end result is going to be a great person on the outside as well as the inside. And I always believe as people get older, they start looking, their outside starts looking like their inside has been all these years. And if you got a good inside, you're going to stay young and look young all the time. If you're a person who's miserable, upset in the inside, it's going to start showing in the outside. I have no doubt about that. All right, some great comments, and once again, great shout outs to everybody who kind of helped with this one a little bit. I try to combine these together, but thank you, iLion. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. Nathaniel, thank you for your comment. I appreciate that as well. Tunnel Vision, thank you, as well as who else did we have here? Anybody else? The last two that we had was dirtymink, thank you, as well as I think it was one more, Obama Medicare. So thank you guys for your comments, as well as thank you guys, everybody, for shout outs, and we'll continue going. And I hope you guys have a great evening. And before we leave, my friends, you know we never forget two things to always keep in mind as I start getting excited again. One thing is every day, like tomorrow, is a new day to a great warrior. So conquest someone. And secondly, always remember, no matter what situation you're in, no matter how you're feeling, good, bad, up or down, you must never give up, and you must always, always battle